How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JG Domination, and we are here with Fantasy Football Friday. Despite my Green Bay Packers losing last night to the Philadelphia Eagles, the show must go on. I mean, we're not going to go 3-13. We're not going to go 15-1, but damn it, the show goes on. How's everyone doing, though? We're going to get into this Fantasy Football Friday. We're going to be doing the stardom lineup and the sit-em lineup. Now, let me go ahead and explain it. I know we're 3 weeks in. Some people just look at these videos because it's me, but let's actually take a dive into this. So, yes, there are going to be big names on the sit-ems list, and a lot of this is matchup based, and basically who I think will be the most involved, you know, for that team against that particular matchup. And listen, I'm 3-0 in my fantasy league. I'm looking to go 4-0. It's a tough task, and I'm not here to say that it's going to be a done deal, because it's not. Don't go based off those projections, people. Go based on the matchups and your football knowledge. That's why we're here today. And for the quarterback position, for the stardoms, we are going to go to home of the 12th man, and we're going to go with Russell Wilson at Arizona. Now, he's coming off a great game. He scored like 41 points for me in fantasy. Amazing stuff against the New Orleans Saints. Now, unfortunately, they didn't win, which sucks for them because they were at home, but they are facing Arizona. This game against Arizona, I'll talk about it in my predictions. It could be a little closer than some people think. I think Russell Wilson will have a good performance against them, though. Not trying to be cocky, but he could. You know, Russell Wilson's facing Arizona. They don't have Patrick Peterson, of course, for a few more games, and everyone's been able to pick them apart. Kyle Allen came in there last week and picked them apart. So what the hell makes me not think Russell Wilson couldn't do the same thing? But it is a division rival. They may be turning up the intensity, so we'll see. But for running back number 1 for stardoms, I passed them. We got to go with Derrick Henry. Until Atlanta proves that they can stop people on the ground, I'm going to pick every running back they face. Every starting running back they face, I'm just going to pick them until Atlanta proves that they can stop the run. And it's, you know, if Green Bay doesn't play on Thursday night, I'm basically going to pick every running back they face until they prove they can stop the run. So, good luck. Get used to that current trend. For running back number 2, this is a pretty easy one. Some of these are going to seem fairly obvious, but we're going to go with Austin Eckler facing off against the Miami Dolphins. He could have like 3 touchdowns. I don't know. But I feel like he's going to get pretty involved early, and then we'll see more of Justin Jackson as the game goes on. But Austin Eckler could be in for a pretty big day against Miami. They suck. I hate to say it. They suck. Their season's over. They're obviously tanking. They have a plan. And to be honest, I'd rather be the Miami Dolphins than the Washington Redskins. That's just me, though. But Austin Eckler, I think he's going to have a pretty good performance. Now, at wide receiver number 1, we got to go to the L.A. Rams, and we're going to be looking at Cooper Kupp. That's right, Cooper Kupp in PPR is super valuable, and that's what this is all based on. My 12-man league, points per reception scoring system. Cooper Kupp is super valuable. They're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, you know, I don't really trust their secondary that much. They haven't really proved to me that they are legit. In terms of the scoreboard, they're doing okay, with the exception of whatever happened with Daniel Jones. That was awesome, though. But Cooper Kupp working in the slot, going up against, I'm assuming, is it Vernon Hargreaves in the slot? I mean, I know he plays slot corner sometimes, but I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game. That's really the moral of the story. And we're going to go to Washington for the second receiver, because we're talking about scary Terry McLaurin, who has been beasting this season. He's been arguably one of the better rookies in football, not just at the receiver position, but in football. He has been tremendous this year, taking full advantage of his opportunity in a wide receiver room that's really not that stacked. And if Dwayne Haskins does ever get to play, he's going to be playing with his college teammate, which is awesome. They are facing the New York Giants. Anybody and everybody can throw against the New York Giants. Jameis Winston had his way against the Giants. Prescott did his thing against the Giants. Josh Allen did his thing against the Giants. You mean to tell me Case Keenum can't find Terry McLaurin like 8 times in this game? Come on now. At the tight end position, though, we are going to go to the division rival who they'll be facing, the New York Giants, and we'll be going with Evan Ingram facing this Washington defense. Daniel Jones is still going to be out there playing. He's going to be doing his thing, and his number one target was Evan Ingram, and I feel like they can get a few mismatches and probably get him in the end zone, so that's what I'm feeling. Now, for the flex position, we're going to be going with a wide receiver for the stardoms, and it's going to be Christian Kirk against the Seattle Seahawks. We talked about Russell Wilson. I think Christian Kirk's going to have a pretty good game. I imagine they're going to throw different looks out there to see what kind of matchups they can get Christian Kirk on, but he's coming off a game in which he had 10 receptions last week. I feel like it's a matter of time before he gets into the end zone, or at least gets you about 100 yards, but we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. Maybe he doesn't have a good game, but I'm feeling like he'll have a solid performance. For the defense, I mean, listen, anybody that faces Miami is going to be on this list, but we got the Chargers. The Chargers defense is going to absolutely obliterate the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but we're going to get to kickers. Not that it really matters, but you have to go with kickers who you think will score a lot of points, and I think that's going to be Greg Zuerlein against Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to give up at least 38 points. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm going too crazy there, but, Tampa Bay has been improved defensively, but if Jared Goff and company can get the ball out quickly, they can neutralize that pass rush, which has surprisingly been pretty good this year, so... if they're able to get in field goal range, they can't quite get that touchdown opportunity. Zuerlein's going to get you some easy points. Now for the sit-ems, we talked about there being big names. Okay, so I don't want people to freak out. I'm just not feeling the matchup. But we're going to go with Baker Mayfield against the Baltimore Ravens. In his career, he has not been good against the Baltimore Ravens. It's not even debatable. The last time he faced the Baltimore Ravens, I believe he had multiple interceptions. I want to say 2 or 3. So it's just not a favorable matchup. Baltimore got smacked in the mouth by Kansas City. Now they're back at home facing a division rival. They've been hearing all the hype. Cleveland, I mean, they got a chip on their shoulder as well, but they're running into a juggernaut in Baltimore who got absolutely embarrassed against Kansas City. I don't like Baker's chances this week. I'm just going to keep it real. Running back number 1, we got to go to Chicago, man, because what the hell has happened with Tariq Cohen? They're not really getting him involved as much, and I think teams have kind of come around to the whole fact that they want to get him open in space. So they're not really, Tariq Cohen hasn't had those big play opportunities. I feel like it'll come eventually, but they are facing the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are going to finish as a top 10 defense again, and this game will probably be one of the multiple reasons why. At running back number 2, we are going to go with Dion Lewis. Now, he is more of a receiving back, and yes, they're facing the Falcons. I know what I just said about Derrick Henry and the Falcons. They can't stop the primary back. Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans have not used Dion Lewis effectively. Dion Lewis was a beast for the New England Patriots. I mean, catching those check down passes, catching those screen passes, a pretty solid route runner. They have not been able to figure out Dion Lewis. I don't know if he's just regressed. I don't know if Mariota, well, I do know Mariota's that bad, but still, you would think you'd throw the freaking check down to him. But it just hasn't been that way. The linebackers are super athletic for Atlanta. If Dion Lewis gets into open space, they're going to close in quickly. I don't think Dion Lewis has the greatest of games, but if he does happen to rip off a touchdown in the passing game, good for him. Maybe I'll feel more confident in picking him. We do got to go to Minnesota, though, for wide receiver number 1. I am putting Adam Thielen on here against Chicago. I think he's going to get the Kyle Fuller matchup. Maybe if Kyle Fuller goes on Stephon Diggs, I feel like it's just going to be tough, though. Kirk Cousins is going to fold in this game. I just have that feeling that he's not going to do particularly well, and Chicago's above 500, so you already know they're fixing to lose because Kirk Cousins is like 4-20 something against 500 teams. It's ridiculous. I don't understand the whole Kirk Cousins thing. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't really get it, but I feel like it's just going to be tough sailing for Adam Thielen this week. I mean, they're running into a bad matchup. Now, Terry McLaurin did his thing against the Bears defense, and you can throw against the Bears defense. I am 100% sold on that after seeing what Case Keenum did. And yeah, the Bears did let off a little bit, But I mean, you can't deny it. I mean, come on. At this point, like, you know you can throw against these guys. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we're putting Allen Robinson on here against Minnesota. He is going to get either Xavier Rhodes or Javon Curse on him. They're going to throw different looks. Allen Robinson's a bigger receiver. You know, like, it's just like if they were facing Alshon Jeffrey, basically. The same dude. So they're going to throw a bigger cornerback on him. They're going to look for that matchup. They're going to look to be a little bit physical and shadow him. They may take him out of this game completely. He may only have 4 catches when it's all said and done. Let's see, tight end. We are going to go to Denver. I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you, my guy, because I like Noah Fant, but it's going to be Noah Fant versus Jacksonville. I mean, he could have a good game against Jacksonville, but he's coming off a pretty rough week against Green Bay. Granted, Green Bay is fixing to come off a pretty rough week because they lost to Philadelphia, but whatever. I'm just not completely sold on Noah Fant in this game. I like Noah Fant as a prospect. I still think he's going to be a good NFL player. I can get over the slow start. That's just whatever. But I feel like this is not going to be the best of matchups. I feel like Jacksonville is playing well at the moment, and that momentum could carry over. Now, it's in Denver, and teams don't particularly do well in Denver. I know Chicago escaped with a victory, whatever, but watch out. Denver could win their first game this season, but that's for the prediction video. When it comes to Noah Fant, I don't think he's going to have particularly a great game. But, you know, who knows. At the flex position, we're going with wide receiver. I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry against Baltimore. Now, he could come away with a lot of catches. Remember, it is a PPR league. I don't see him getting a whole lot of yards. I don't really see him getting touchdowns. You know, I feel like Odell Beckham's going to have a big game, though. Despite what I said about Baker Mayfield, I'm not feeling Jarvis Landry in this game against Baltimore. They're going to find a way to take one of these two out of the game, and if I had to bet my money on which receiver gets taken out of the game in terms of shadowed and not a factor, it would definitely be Jarvis Landry, because you can't really take Odell out of the game. It is what it is. In terms of the defense, any defense that faces Kansas City, I gotta bet against you. There's a chance that Darius Slay doesn't play this game. I think he will. I don't think Mike Daniels is expected to play. Snacks Harrison, you know, I'm pretty sure he'll play, but you know, Detroit's defense, I mean, I give them credit. They've been a bend but don't break defense. Kansas City's gonna break you. I hate to say it, I do, because you guys have been pretty good this year. I'm gonna be honest, you've surprised me a little bit. You gotten 2 wins against 2 quality opponents. So you got to do your job, but it's going to be tough out there. I'm just going to keep it real. And then for the kicker position, not that it really matters too much, but I did go with Steven Gostkowski. They're facing Buffalo. Buffalo is, you know, their defense is really good. I mean, they have one of the best passing defenses in the league, one of the best scoring defenses in the league, and I feel like they're going to hold New England to about, I don't know, under 20 points. I still think New England could win this game, I mean, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be a good kicking game necessarily. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stardom and situms and whatnot. We'll see you guys around the corner for the next one. I will be doing my predictions video as well, but I'll see you around for the next one. Peace out.